Let's find out what's happening in Durban, in KwaZulu-Natal. On the line now, connecting to my colleague Samkele Maseko. Samkele, so we know that from when these protests started, Durban was pretty much the epicenter of it. So tell us more about what has happened there today, and if it has spread to other parts of KwaZulu-Natal.
What we do know, Tsepiso, is that these protests spread yesterday evening at about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock to Moy River in the Moses Mapita region in Moempofane municipality at the Moempofane Plaza, where those particular buses were and particular trucks were burnt by protesters which were ferrying various goods to other provinces of the country. We do know that also in the General Kizenga Mbanza area of Ilembe District Municipality, those roads in Movoti Plaza were barricaded and people were stopped from commuting on the M2 going towards Richards Bay. We also do know that there was activity of particular unrest and protests in the Umhlatuze municipality in Richards Bay. But as of this afternoon at about 5 o'clock, protests erupted in an area called Kwamamdegazi heading towards Ndengezi, where community is burning tires on those particular streets. We do know that as we speak, as of this moment, particularly with that directive from the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, that ANC NEC deployees must urgently convene with the province. We do know that a special provincial cabinet meeting is currently underway, where the premier of the province, Sihle Zikalala, is communicating with other MECs in the province. We were supposed to speak to Mr. Lennox Mabaso, who is the provincial spokesperson of the provincial government in the province and the spokesperson for the premier of the province, Sihle Zikalala, but that had to be put in abeyance due to this urgent provincial cabinet meeting, which is currently sitting underway as we speak. We did try to make provisions to speak to the MEC of Transport and Community Safety in the province, MEC Peggy Nkonyeni, but obviously we couldn't speak to her due to the province having an urgent provincial cabinet meeting this afternoon.
Right, Samkele, just hold a thought while we listen in on what the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, who's also the chair of the ANC provincially, had to say earlier on.
On behalf of the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal, we call for calm and maximum adherence to the rule of law as we see the threat of shutdown in the province. This morning, the province experienced a number of scattered attempts to bring the province to a grinding halt as major roads and highways, including N2 and N3, were targeted. The M7, which is a strategic cargo transit route from the port of Durban toward the inland, and other provincial and municipal links were also affected. Several vehicles were reportedly stoned and millions worth of public infrastructure damage, resulting in many commuters not able to reach their places of work. Police says a comprehensive multidisciplinary provincial security plan has been developed, and all law enforcement agencies are on high alert as they attend to this unfortunate and unlawful situation which is taking place in the province. It is reported and believed that the protest is on the incarceration of former President, His Excellency, Comrade Jacob Zuma. We understand the extreme anger of the people who are protesting, and as the country and the province, we find ourselves in a very unusual and unique situation wherein we are dealing with the arrest of the former president of the ANC and former president of our country. We are therefore dealing with very challenging times. However, we call on those who are protesting to do so through peaceful means and avoid violence and distractions at all costs.
So that's the ANC chair in the province, Sihle Zikalala, speaking. And Samkele, you were saying that there has been an urgent meeting called of the PEC. There's NEC deployees there. But tell us just how big the challenge is. There's been the issue of loyalties internally within the ANC, which has created great fissures. But more importantly, the mandate that has been given to negotiate themselves out of the situation. I'm sure it's hard for you to say, but what would satisfy those who are protesting at the moment?
What we do know is that the provincial leadership of the ANC, and in particular its provincial chairperson, Sihle Zikalala, received a hammering from the ANC's special NEC, which was sitting today, in which the NEC criticized the provincial chair, Sihle Zikalala, and also the premier of speaking with the forked tongue when it comes to the issues of discipline in the province and to those who are breaking the law in support of former President Jacob Zuma. We do know that ANC spokesperson Nhlakanipho Ntombela did say earlier on when we spoke to him that former President Jacob Zuma saw his allegiance to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa twice when he was sworn in as the President of the Republic, and those who are doing criminal activity in their support for the former President, he would not be in support of such activity. We also do know that the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa and the President of the country has said that those who are breaking the law, the full might of the law must be used to book all of those involved in criminal activity. Those were the words of the ANC president. The ANC NEC has continuously said that they support the rule of law as much as they support the former president, but the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa must be upheld and must be implemented, particularly looking at how the former president was then held into custody by the police after failing to essentially submit himself to a correctional services facility or to law enforcement agencies on Sunday. So these sporadic protests that have erupted in the province have essentially seen law enforcement agencies, particularly the SABC, arresting 27 individuals who were involved in the setting alight of vehicles and trucks yesterday evening at Moy River. We do expect that sporadic events of looting, sporadic events of the torching of vehicles and of trucks may also go up tonight in the areas of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. It's not only the metropolis area of eThekwini municipality that has been affected by these protests. It's also areas such as the Mkungundlovu district municipality, in particular Moempofane local municipality in Moy River. You go to areas like Ilembe district municipality and the KwaDukuza municipality, which has been affected. You go to areas such as Mandeni local municipality in Ilembe that have been affected. You go to areas like Umhlathuze municipality, which have been affected as well, which is known as the Musadladla region of the African National Congress, the home region of the incarcerated former President Jacob Zuma. We've also seen that these particular events of sporadic protests and the looting of shops and the barricading of roads, particularly the M7, the N2, the N3, they have also threatened to escalate these protests to other provinces of the country such as Gauteng. We also do know that the governing party has also taken action on their members, particularly with the suspension of Carl Niehaus, who was also arrested in Escort, where our colleague J.D. Lipolsa was reporting excellently outside the Escort Correctional Services yesterday, where he was arrested live whilst he was speaking here on the South African Broadcasting Corporation, despite the criticism that the SABC may have received with reports to this total shutdown of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We've seen it coming from the economic freedom fighters and from one particular journalist from independent media houses. But we have been trying to report on these events taking place in the province, despite a very hostile environment where those who are in support of the president have been intimidating journalists, have been attacking journalists. We've seen the comments coming out of the South African National Editors Forum condemning the sort of hostile environment that journalists have had to work in the province, in particular in Nkandla. But these protests seem to be well coordinated, with a special provincial cabinet meeting now taking place place in the province, chaired by the provincial premier of the province, Premier Sihle Zikalala. We also do know that the ANC will be holding a PWC meeting at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which will be then met by an extended PEC meeting at 6 o'clock in the evening to speak to these issues of these protests that are currently taking place in the province. We have been trying the provincial secretary of the ANC, Mdumiseni Ntuli, to speak to him. He has said that he will definitely speak to the South African Broadcasting Corporation on Monday once they are done with the PWC and the extended PEC meeting, and particularly taking directive from the NEC meeting, which was sitting today of the governing party, the African National Congress, which the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, has also sent out a statement strongly condemning the criminal activity taking place, saying the full might of the law must come upon those who are disrupting the economy and who are also burning trucks and vehicles in Moy River.
So let's talk about the latest, Samkele, that has happened. The ANC has promised disciplinary action against its members. I believe that the deputy convener of the Nhlanzeni region, Michael Ngwenya, has been suspended for mobilizing some of these protests. How likely is that to cause further divisions within the provincial structures, especially as these negotiations continue at a high level?
Well, so the ANC is pretty much a fractured organization, in the words of the suspended Secretary General of the ANC, and in the words of the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa. He is said that in various engagements with the NEC and in various closing remarks of the NEC, has said that the factionalism and the divisions that were there within the African National Congress, particularly heading towards Nasrec and after Nasrec of CR17 and NDZ, they are starting to rear their ugly head once again. The divisions within the governing party are starting to show their ugly head once again. So the leaders of the ANC, on their own evolution, have admitted that the governing party, the divisions are very high, and particularly with the incarceration of former President Jacob Zuma, the suspension of Ace Magashule, the Secretary General of the ANC, the suspension of Bongani Bongo, who's an NEC member, has sharpened the divisions within the governing party. About a month or so ago, in the court appearance of former President Jacob Zuma, ANC NEC member Tony Yangeni and strong backer of former President Jacob Zuma said there are, quote, there are irreconcilable ideological differences within the African National Congress, end of quote. Tony Yangeni, who sits in the highest decision-making body of the governing party between conferences, admitting that there are irreconcilable political differences within the ANC. Ace Magashule, the suspended Secretary General of the ANC, speaking on Sunday at KwaZulu-Natal in Nkandla, the homestead of former President Jacob Zuma, said that there is a concerted effort by those in the leadership of the ANC to disband every branch, every region of the ANC. He went further to say that when you are disbanded, you must remain as an elected BEC as a branch, remain as an elected REC as a region, remain as a PEC, a provincial executive committee, such as the disbanded ANC PEC in the Free State, which some may have seen that as someone who's supporting parallel structures within the governing party. The ANC Deputy Secretary General Jesse Yasmin Duarte has said that the NEC will ask the suspended Secretary General Ace Magashule to come and explain his comments outside the home of former President Jacob Zuma, which basically means that the political divisions and the political imaginations have been further exacerbated within the governing party. You go to Mpumalanga province, and the tensions that have existed between Michael Ngwenya, the deputy convener of the Nhlanzeni region, who's also a former regional chairperson of the ANC in Mpumalanga, very close to the deputy president of the African National Congress and deputy president of the Republic of South Africa, who's currently out in Russia. He's been at loggerheads with the PEC of Mpumalanga, currently led by Mandla Ndlovu, the acting provincial chair, and Lindiwe Nchali, the acting provincial chairperson. it's not the first time that Ngqayingwenya has been suspended. This is the second time in 2 years that the ANC has suspended Michael Ngqayingwenya, the deputy convener of the Ehlanzeni region. So the political divisions and the machinations within the governing party have been further exacerbated and sharpened with the suspension of the Secretary General Ace Magashule, and also with the incarceration of former President Jacob Gedlayihlekisa Zuma.
Samkele Maseko, my colleague who is in Durban in KwaZulu-Natal.